right. Let's get it 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 right. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Dealatofficial. And this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me. Subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode. And sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Get you something to eat. Get you something to drink. Get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title, fam. Let's get into this here.
This now, the first time that we're really hearing some more details from law enforcement.
Yeah, we know that the call was made maybe about 10 o'clock this morning, so just about 3 hours or so ago. In that press conference, we did get some more information about this woman who was, we know, at this point shot and killed by ICE agents. We have learned that she is a 37-year-old white woman. She appeared to be in the vehicle alone, is what the police chief said. But the spouse has made it to the hospital, but we probably should
Chris in the building. My fam always checking in. What's up, fam? Hope you had a good day, man. Get comfortable, man. Get you something to drink, man.
And interestingly, we really still haven't learned what the initial call was, why ICE was there in the first place, who they may have been looking for. But we know that while ICE agents were there, according to Mayor Fry, there were about a dozen or so plus agents there. And that, you know, we've seen, there's some video out there. We're actually going to be showing it to you here shortly so you can see for yourself. But in the course of, you know, of them looking for somebody, people started to gather, crowd started to gather, more law enforcement shows up. And I'm not exactly sure at what point the incident happened with the woman in the vehicle, but we know that there was a woman in the vehicle, and according to again, you'll see the video for yourself and you can kind of watch. There are two narratives here. One from the Trump administration, which we'll read to you in a second, and then one we just heard from local law enforcement. Okay, and Ryan's telling me that we are actually ready to show the video. So before we layer too much context here, why don't we just let you watch this? But we're going to do this in a very sort of deliberate way. Let people know that this is video we're showing for the first time. You're not going to see it a lot on our air because we want to make sure that when we're showing it, we're doing it with a purpose. So there's no audio here as well, and you're going to see this sort of play out. So just a warning to those who may not want to see this. You can see the vehicle there. That's law enforcement pulling up in the pickup.
And it is the Honda Pilot that we should be focused on here. It's about a purplish, reddish color here. So let's take a look.
Agent walking up. And then there's another agent. I don't know if you can see that one right there.
Yeah, three agents involved. One was kind of closer to the front of the vehicle. The other kind of pulled on that driver's side door handle.
Yeah. So again, there's no audio here. We don't know what's being said. We don't know really anything else about this woman, other than we know that she was not the target of the initial investigation. That was confirmed by the police chief. But there are some other angles of this as well that are being looked at. So that's kind of one pass of the video. And again, right. Okay, thanks for letting us know. Sorry. So there is some audio to this, and if you go online, you can see. So now you can see the vehicle is crashed, and according to law enforcement here in the Twin Cities, that woman was shot, and then the vehicle drove into the snow there, as you can see. So this is kind of the aftermath right now. This video is turning the other way. We want to just show you what's happening. We didn't have a lot on the front end of this, and every time we show video, we kind of like to show prior the incident and then as much after, but this is what we have, so we wanted to show it to you in full.
And this is also the first time that we are seeing this as well, so we're kind of just watching this together along with you. But as you can see there, you see all these houses and these homes along Portland Avenue. We know that this is a residential area. So again, we don't know much about this woman, just that she's 37 years old. We don't know if she was an observer, because that's the thing too. So a lot of these ICE agents were out there, and they say observers were out there as well. These are people that are just documenting what is going on. And so we know from the police chief perspective, he just says that he knows that she was a woman that was in her car and she was blocking the road.
Yeah.
And that's about all the information that we know.
Okay, right. You let me know when this is played out completely or how close we are. Oh, there's a couple minutes left, because I just wanted to also read, because we haven't had a chance to do this, the statement from Christy Noem, the Department of Homeland Security, if I could as well. Do you want me to do that right now, Ryan, or do you want me to wait just a minute? Okay. Okay, so let's just kind of let's just watch this for a moment. Again, this is the aftermath. So this is a loop now of what happened. If we could just hang on for just 1 second. Now that people have a little traction here, let's kind of watch this, and we'll let you just watch. Yeah, and saw the shot fired there by the officer on the left-hand side of your screen. Let's read through the statement that the Trump administration had put out just a short time ago. I believe we have that up if we want to take that. Today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them, an act of domestic terrorism. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. They're approaching.
Yeah,
okay.
This is ICE agents just pulling up here. The vehicle is
Lower
right there.
And it happens so fast that it's hard to see what takes place in this particular video, but that is the front angle, and then we have also obtained some video from behind where it happens, but that is the vehicle that belongs to the woman who was killed today. And as Randy said, there were 3 agents in particular surrounding the car. It's unclear why she was parked at an angle in the street, or what was happening in the street at that time. We do know that as they approached her vehicle, one agent told her to get out of the car, and then we see the car start to move, and then we hear the shots.
So that video you just saw is the one that President Trump also viewed this afternoon as well. And post watching that video, the president did put out a statement. I believe we have that for you. And it reads like this: I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. We will say from our observations, the officer does not appear to have been on the pavement. He was in front of that bumper at the time, but we never saw from any of our angles him hit the pavement. He goes on to say, is there more of the president's statement, or is this the full context? He goes on to say they are just trying to do a job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this, and these are his words, radical left movement of violence and hate. Again, that was President Trump's evaluation as he watched the video earlier.
And then we have the clip of the perspective from behind the vehicle as well that we want to show you. So you've seen the perspective from the front, and now we're going to show you the perspective from behind, from somebody who had a cell phone out at the scene when all of the very quickly. We're going to try to get to a point where we can maybe slow this down and show you some still shots. But as Randy was saying, we see all of the agents standing in the street, nobody on the ground. Again, that is the perspective from behind, and we've watched it several times. So again, that vehicle the woman was in is it's parked in the street. We don't know for how long though, and it was at an angle, and we know that ICE agents then approached that vehicle, and then the vehicle started to take off. Then after you hear the shots, it veers off into that parked car on the side of the street. Kristi Noem also issued a statement today, and I don't know if we can put it up on the screen, but just want to give you the perspective of all the different reactions that are coming in as a result of this shooting this morning. Noem saying it was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and rammed them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively, shot to protect himself and the people around him. My understanding is she was hit and is deceased, and we've confirmed that. This goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and law enforcement are under every single day. Again, that is Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and again, they have deployed about 2,000 ICE agents to the Minneapolis area in the last couple of days and have already made hundreds of arrests, and we know that they continued with ICE operations later today at different locations in spite of this shooting.
A 37-year-old woman was shot and killed today in Minneapolis after ICE went into the city and started to do their thing. In retaliation, people started to protest and they started to obstruct. A lot of things happened. We're going to take a look at the clips. But the most controversial thing was someone was shot and killed by an ICE officer. Now, Trump and many other people are saying this is self-defense. This guy almost got run over, or well, he did get run over. Trump actually said, I don't know how he survived this. We're going to look at the clips. And a lot of people are saying there is no way in hell that this was justified. This was murder by an ICE agent. Before I show you the actual clip, I want you to read what Donald Trump said about this, because I think it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, this guy just exaggerates too much. This is coming from someone, by the way, I voted for Trump. Would I vote for him again knowing what happened now this year? That's another conversation we can have later. So I think it's very important to be critical of this administration, even if you voted for them. Let's read this. I've just viewed a clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive. That's the craziest part to me, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis, which I do agree with that part. They're just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of the violence and hate. Agreed. So this is pretty much every angle on the internet right now of the incident. So let's take a look here. This angle in particular will be the one that you can see him actually getting hit by the car. It's, nothing crazy, but he does get hit by the car. This is the clip that Trump posted, by the way, in reply to his Truth Social post. So you can see it zooms past him. Then you'll see the other clips here.
Or the water building.
No! No! Shit! Shit! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck?
See, here you can see that the cop, it's very, very, it's not a very hard hit. You can see him, he's back here. Can't see much on that one.
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
Let's go see the slowed down version and break it down. All right, this is the easiest way to see what actually happened in my opinion. So you can see that the car is clearly trying to back up here and he's trying to open the door. So at this point, get out the damn car. No matter who you are, even if you think you're in the right, she's clearly not, but even if you think you're in the right, get out the car, listen to law enforcement. You don't want to end up on a clip online, all right? Here's the ICE agent in front of the car, the one that shot her. Here he is. Now, she is now about to go into start driving forward. This officer is now pulling out his gun, right? And I think the first shot, in my opinion, is justified because he's right in front of the car. We can see in the first clip, we'll play it again, that he gets hit a little bit from the car. So, the car is a weapon at this point. So he is defending himself. So bang, he's about to fire the first shot as he's stepping away. There it goes. You can see that. Now he is out the way. That's it. He is out of harm's way at this point. This is where I think it goes too far. He keeps shooting inside of the window. 1, 2, in the window. Right, so here you can see he actually does get hit. It's kind of freaking blurry, but let's play everything back from the beginning. Okay, here he is. His body does move back a little bit from the car, so he did get hit. But here is where the problem is. Do you just let someone run away after that? After they tried to run you over, do you gun them down and continue to shoot in the window? That's another question. I think that first shot is justified. He did get hit. He was right in front of the car. And to be honest with you, I'm not an officer. If anyone is an officer watching this, I'm sure the adrenaline is pumping through this man's body. He's freaking out because there's protesters everywhere. There's protesters all over Minnesota at this point. So they probably feel a little bit unsafe to begin with. There's a lot of officers around. But if you're about to get run over, I'm sure he's got adrenaline. He just wants to protect himself. That's what I think. Now, I'm not an officer. I've never been in a situation like that, so I can't comment on what it's like to be in a situation like that. But do you let that person run away, or do you shoot them 2 more times to make sure that the job is finished? That is the real controversial question here, because I don't think there's much controversy on the first shot, to be honest with you. And you can see this last clip here, slow-mo, which doesn't show much. As I was literally recording that last clip, the Homeland Security just gave an update and details on exactly what happened in their point of view. So let's take a look at what they have to say.
Any loss of life is a tragedy. And I think all of us can agree that in this situation, it was preventable. I've spoken to the president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations. ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day.
So I have seen that this person was a problem throughout the whole day. She was obstructing, she was trying to distract, she was causing problems, she was leading protests. So that's a very important information.
Agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues. He was treated at a local hospital, has been released, and is now with family. I encourage the American people at this point in time to pray for him, but also to pray for the deceased's family and her loved ones. Today alone in this country, there have been 4 different domestic terrorist attacks on federal officers by the ramming of vehicles. 3 of them happened here in Minneapolis. We've seen over 100 of these vehicle rammings happen in just recent weeks. And this must stop.
I had to stop that clip to show you this. There is massive protests protesting the woman who died in Minneapolis. This is probably exactly where it happened, but man, here we go. Here we go is all I gotta say. We've seen this happen before. This has gotta be something that's definitely orchestrated. We know by who. But man, this information is coming out so quickly. This is probably going to come out all night long, so I'll try and make a follow-up video, but just take a look at this.
Rise up, take a stand! Rise up, take a stand!
Holy cow.
Rise up, take a stand! Stolen land! Don't be illegal on stolen land! Don't be illegal on stolen land!
Oh my God.
Pay attention to who uses their voice. This isn't the time to be silent. This is the time to rise up and continue to fight for the people.
Jeez. Well, that's all the information we have as of now. I just think this is the last thing that the United States needs, just more division. That's all this really causes, more division. People are now going to protest. And, you know, we're going to be distracted from the stuff that's really happening in this world. I thought that the first shot was self-defense. It's really sad that someone had to die. But I mean, you play stupid games and you win stupid prizes. I'm very curious to know what you guys think about this situation, because I know it's pretty divided. I think most people that follow me think that this was justified. And I think there is a good amount of people who think that this is just unnecessary. Their shooting was never should have happened. Just let her run away. But you can see clearly in the first angle, he did get hit a little bit by the car. I think Trump exaggerating it is just stupid. Like, why do you have to say all that? Just address the situation and say it was self-defense. If that's your opinion, you don't got to say, I can't believe he survived this crazy hit. Come on now. We don't got time for this stuff anymore.
It's beyond me that apparently from the federal government, from the Homeland Security Director herself, has already determined who this person was, what their motive was, and they hadn't even been taken out of the vehicle. We're not living in a normal world.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz reacting to an ICE agent shooting and killing a woman in her car yesterday morning in Minneapolis. We're going to go through what happened and the response from the Trump administration, which does not fit with multiple videos recorded at the scene.
Of justice and this presidential administration has already come to a conclusion about those facts is deeply concerning. The facts that from the very beginning, they're calling the victim a domestic terrorist. They're calling the actions of the agent involved as some form of defensive posture. We know that they've already determined much of the investigation, and even if they haven't, there is the appearance that there is some conclusion drawn from the very beginning. If not hide from the facts, why not embrace them? If it's not a problem to have additional people at the table that have a deep commitment to the process and transparency and have run these investigations before, then why not include them in the process? The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension at the state of Minnesota has consistently run these investigations before. They have done so without bias. They have done so with a great deal of expertise. This is not some radical way out there group. This is a group that is formed by experts who understand how to investigate. Many of them have been police officers themselves. So our ask is really simple here. Our ask is to embrace the truth. Our ask is to include the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension in this process because we in Minneapolis want a fair investigation. Is it deeply concerning that this administration from the very get-go is drawing the conclusion that they may ultimately come to? Of course it is. And if you got nothing to hide from, then don't hide from it. Include local experts in the process. We got nothing to...
People feel the incident could have been prevented and the agent should have not used deadly force against an unarmed civilian, while others feel the agent was just doing it. On January 7th, a tragic event unfolded in Minneapolis that has further divided the nation. If you have been on social media lately, chances are you have seen people talking about the incident or even seen the video for yourself. The video shows the tragedy unfold and is truly disturbing. Many people feel the incident could have been prevented and the agent should have not used deadly force against an unarmed civilian, while others feel the agent was just doing his job and the woman provoked this situation by trying to ram him while she attempted to drive away. This division can be seen not only amongst the people, but also in the government between local political leaders and the leaders of the federal government, with the local leaders declaring the incident unlawful and demanding that ICE leaves the city, while the president justified the shooting as lawful and necessary use of force because the agent was in danger. If you go on social media, this has become the center of debate, causing rage and anger. What people don't realize is that they're looking at all of this wrong. When you realize what's actually going on, you're going to change your perspective on all of this. From everything I've seen in my investigation into this, I have become convinced the reason this happened was to bait this exact reaction we are seeing from the people now. At the end of the day, it's all about division. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about the Minneapolis situation. In order to not get this video on my channel shadow banned, I will not be saying everything about this incident in this video. Only what I believe I can say on here without consequences. I will be making a deeper breakdown of the situation on my Patreon, where I don't have to worry about what I can and can't say. If you're one of my members, you can expect that video in the next few days. Also, I am actually battling a bad cold right now. If I sound off, that's why. I wasn't gonna make any content until I got better, but this has been bothering me since I saw it, and I felt that I needed to push myself and get the video done. I wanna thank you all for watching. Now, let's get right into it. Right now, it feels like 2020 all over again. People are mad and are directing the anger to whom they feel is responsible. What we saw with the George Floyd situation seems to be reoccurring in Minneapolis with this ICE situation. It's kind of crazy that all of this is taking place in the same place. Now, I want to acknowledge that this entire situation is truly disturbing. The way it unfolded just seems so wrong. Even if you feel what the agent did was justified, You can't deny that the entire situation could have been completely avoided. It feels like such an unnecessary outcome that no matter how you try to justify it, it didn't need to happen at all. According to Trump, this was all justified, posting this statement. I have just viewed the clip of the event, which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but he is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because of the radical left. So according to Trump, the agent acted well within his rights because he was defending himself, claiming the man was lucky to survive the incident. Local government officials have a different view of what happened though. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Free disputed Trump's narrative, calling the federal account propaganda and garbage. They state video evidence shows the vehicle was moving away or around the officer when he fired, not trying to strike them.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull. And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Now, I don't want to get too much into the video itself in this video, but I do want to point out that while the woman did attempt to drive away, it didn't seem like she was attempting to ram those agents with her car. To me, it looked like she got nervous and attempted to drive off, and they let off shots almost immediately. In my opinion, it looked like the agent would have not been hit by the car. But I will say that the incident seemed so surreal and it happened so quickly. The more I watched the video, the more things started to stand out to me. The amount of time it took for the agent to do what he did after he got out of his car was less than a minute. It almost seemed like that's what he was sent in for. It seemed like there was no de-escalation at all. What also stood out to me was that the woman in the truck was just sitting there waiting. When the agents arrived seconds later, everything went down so fast. To me, it all seemed rather strange and almost like it was staged, especially when there were multiple people already there filming the entire thing from multiple angles. Then realizing this is the same city where the Floyd situation happened, literally taking place 1 mile away, I started to put the pieces together. One thing I found rather interesting was where the incident all went down. According to the news, the situation happened on 34th Street and Portland Avenue in Minneapolis. After researching the area, I was able to find a Masonic temple just 0.7 miles away, literally 4 minutes away from where this all went down. To me, this is quite interesting, isn't it? For some reason, in many of these situations, there's always a Masonic temple nearby. I wonder why. Add this to the fact that 6 years ago in the same city, just 1 mile away, the George Floyd situation unfolded, leading to massive tension. Think about that. Just 1 mile away from where the George Floyd situation happened 6 years back. Now, unfortunately, I don't feel comfortable going any deeper about this on YouTube. I am working on the Patreon exclusive on this, but it's gonna take at least a few days to get that video up as I'm working through this code. But what's most important to know right now is not to fall for their manipulation. This is all going to spin into a giant divide amongst the people. All of this is causing more and more division. Those who control things need just that, as if we're busy fighting amongst each other, we're not only distracted, but also easier to manipulate and pose no threat to their plans. Divide and conquer is the name of the game. There is a popular show called The Boys, made by Amazon, that is about superheroes that are basically evil and run the country. The superheroes are meant to be a representation of celebrities and big politicians. In fact, the main antagonist in the series, Homelander, is modeled after an evil Superman and also Donald Trump. There is a scene in one of the episodes that shows the company Vault, which makes and controls the superheroes in the show, staging a false flag attack during a protest. In the TV show, they planted several bodies in a protest to make it look like the protesters became violent and attacked the supporters of the superheroes. But in reality, the superheroes were the ones who killed the guys and placed them in the middle of the protest. That is a false flag attack. I believe things like this aren't so fictional and are actually happening all the time. What's interesting is that this show seems to be predicting a lot of the things that we're living through right now. I think a full video on this series will be an important video. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same way. If you want to see a video on the show, comment the voice below. And if I see enough of you interested, I'll make sure to get it done. We have to make sure that we're not manipulated and that we don't fall into exactly what they're hoping for. We have to stand strong together and not allow them to control our emotions. Right now, if you go on social
killed. Do you?
Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? During a recent committee hearing, Representative Jasmine Crockett went in on the silence, hypocrisy, and the fake outrage that many Republicans seem to have in this society. Yeah, fam, she called Trump a scam artist, went in on Marjorie Taylor Greene and called her a coward for quitting after Trump got on her neck. Yeah, she even commented on the ICE agent who murdered the woman in cold blood. Yeah. She got a little emotional on that part. Check it out.
Thank you so much. It is so hard to sit here sometimes because I didn't come to Congress to write laws or to do things that are hurting people. I'm just asking if there's any decency or heart or courage on that side of the aisle. The fact that a woman was killed, she was shot in her head, and y'all are pretending like nothing happened. I remember when Charlie Kirk got killed. Do you remember what our response was? Our response wasn't to sit there and pretend like it was okay.
Let me stop right there, fam. And therein lies the problem. The Democrats have to learn to give the Republicans what they give them. The reason why the Republicans are so crud so often is because they know that the Democrats are going to play softball. Democrats are always trying to just get along and do the right thing. And that's good to do the right thing, but sometimes doing the right thing means rolling your sleeve up and socking somebody in the eye. You know, sometimes it means crossing that line, you know, to get it done, to get the job done. Like, these guys, I think, are just too damn nice at times. You dig what I'm saying? And also, I am not fooled by the Democrats who play both sides. I'm not fooled by them, just like you got Republicans who play both sides. At the end of the day, depending on what hue they oftentimes benefit no matter which way the decision goes. That's why some of them are not really up in arms when certain things are happening. I don't know, like DAI being taken out of the college school system, or perhaps critical race theory not being taught, you know, schools being penalized for teaching critical race theory, and et cetera, in a catchment sweater. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't trust it.
Is it okay because you have a badge? Because the last time I checked, allegedly no one is above the law. Can y'all not just have a little bit of courage and humanity? A child. A child is lost her mom. And y'all want to pretend that it is okay. I am asking if there is anyone that will stand for the very people that elected us and sent us to Congress. You tell us things like, well, the immigrants are bad, and so we gotta get all these bills because the immigrants are the ones that are causing the harm, they're bringing the crime. The mayor of Minneapolis told y'all to get the fuck out. Yet y'all are the ones, it is this administration that is bringing crime to their streets. That's what's happening.
It's the third incident where somebody has dropped an F-bomb in this committee, including the video.
I'm sorry.
Including the video that we had to watch earlier.
Princess ears okay?
Is it profanity?
The committee's ears okay?
Representative.
The committee.
You are about the fact that a
Are
woman.
you House representative?
The gentlelady.
Are we offending your princess
ears? Are they that soft?
All members. Well, maybe some of the kids out there.
Mr. Chairman, it is the gentlelady.
You're killing them.
It is the gentlelady's time. Let's let her have her time. It is the gentlelady's time. Would you stop the clock for a moment? Okay, and I'll restore that. The chair will remind all members that the person controlling the time is not to be unreasonably interrupted. We would further admonish that whenever possible to express the full meaning of something, it be done so without an expletive that may be offensive to people here in the audience or those who watch this on television. I understand that a quote at times is essential, but I would admonish everyone that it has been the practice of this committee for the many years I've been here to use such things as F-bomb in order to get the message out without actually using the word. Notwithstanding that, the gentlelady will be recognized for this time plus an additional 20 seconds. The gentlelady may continue.
Okay, family. Wouldn't it be nice if the same rules apply to the president who has the top job in the country? He's in the top office in the country. Wouldn't it be nice to get back to some decorum here? Like, as she said, this guy was more concerned about her language, talking about her complaining about a woman being gunned down in cold blood than the actual woman being gunned down in cold blood. This is what they do. Man, yeah, fam. And none of them checks Donald Trump. In fact, J.D. Vance, he does the same thing now. The press secretary, she does the same thing now. The FBI director, all of these top people, they dropped the F-bomb, the S-bomb, the P-bomb, the B-bomb, the N-word, whatever they want to say, they just say it, and they're never checked. Interesting how that happens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Long story short, we are sitting in judiciary and no one on that side of the aisle seems to care that this particular person, whose name we don't know at this point, became the judge, jury, and executioner. I don't know how you square that. And then we're sitting here literally in markup for a bail funds bill. When I first ran for office, it was in the midst of yet another lynching by law enforcement in Minneapolis. At that time, it was George Floyd. I remember working as a pro bono criminal defense attorney to help protesters that were being arrested. There were more than 600 protesters that were arrested in Dallas. There were churches that came together to make sure that there were bail funds. There were nonprofit organizations, and to explain how it works for bail, since we're in judiciary and we're writing the laws, and some people may not understand this, but those bail funds, those nonprofit organizations are not the ones that determine whether or not somebody gets bail. What they do is they help out poor people, which I know y'all are not interested in either, but they help out people that aren't rich and famous and have limitless amounts of money, like all of the Epstein defendants who somehow y'all can't find, even though y'all went and got Maduro. But it helps out those people to be able to get out of jail. Many of those people that if they spend just a couple of days in jail will then be thrust into straight up poverty because they will lose everything. Why it is that you want to criminalize people such as churches that are trying to help the poor because they understand what the Bible says, and they don't just say that they understand it or say that they love Jesus, but they decide that they actually put it into works because faith without works is dead. That is wrong too. And I'm here to tell you that there's going to be a lot of nonprofit organizations that are going to step up in this moment, because there are going to be protests around this entire country because of the state-sanctioned execution that we all saw unfold unless there is some kind of justice that takes place and we get the name of that officer and that officer is prosecuted. So I ask that law enforcement, we have oversight over them. I am the oversight ranker. Let's go ahead. In fact, I make a motion that we have a hearing in the oversight subcommittee as it relates to this particular issue and what took place.
I ain't got no problem with that. But here's the deal, fam. You know they're gonna let that fool escape. Everybody in law enforcement is on his side. Immediately, they're on his side. And the fact that he was standing in front of that car for just a moment, just for a moment, is gonna be enough for him to ride. They're gonna let him ride, fam. They're not gonna prosecute that dude. It's gonna be a lot of protesting, people gonna get hurt. I'm assuming a few people gonna die. And that's gonna be over, and then we're gonna be on to the next protest. Because there's something going on in this country every day. There's a grievance. Every day, something's popping off. So, yeah, they're not gonna arrest that fool. Even if they arrest him, if they arrested him, you know, it would only be for show. It would be a dog and pony show. They would arrest him, I mean, they would indict him, they will try him, and he will bounce, he will walk. Absolutely, he's going to walk. When the President of the United States says, you got a bad deal, when the President of the United States said, hey man, I don't see no crime, keep in mind, you know, this felon, you know, this criminal, 34 convictions. You know, he got the all-time record, 34 convictions, and never spent one day in jail. Can't nobody touch that man. Ain't nobody touching that record. So, as a criminal, Trump knows what he's talking about. Besides stealing from students and bankrupting his business partners, one thing Trump is really, really good at is circumventing the law. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.
So this is DHS police. This is not Minneapolis police. This is DHS police. We are outside the Whipple building. This is the federal building where ICE is operating out of. As you see, their cars are coming out to go do their daily operations. This is a large protest that started at 7 a.m. There are hundreds of people out here right now. So we have Border Patrol. We have Border Patrol agents, DHS police. There's ICE officers here. Smash that like button, share this live stream, get it out there. Early morning protest.
Show your face! Show your face! Show your
All right, we're going to start your morning off with the latest out of Minneapolis, where tensions are high following an ICE officer fatally shooting a woman.
The entire encounter was caught on camera, and we must warn you that it is disturbing. The victim has been identified as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. Despite the video evidence, there are vastly different interpretations of the events that led up to the shooting.
It's very clear that this individual was harassing and impeding law enforcement operations. Our officer followed his training, did exactly what he's been taught to do in that situation, and took actions to defend himself.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying.
And the Department of Homeland Security has deployed more than 2,000 ICE officers to Minneapolis in what it is calling the largest immigration enforcement operation ever so far this year across the country. At least 5 deaths have been linked to immigration crackdowns. Minneapolis remains on edge this morning, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has put the state's National Guard on standby in case of unrest.
But so far, there has been no need to mobilize troops. This was the scene last night at a massive vigil near the site of the shooting. Hundreds packing the street to remember Renee Nicole Good, a mother of 3 who recently moved to Minnesota from Missouri. Her family says she had just dropped off her 6-year-old to school before encountering the ICE agents. Police say the vigil remained peaceful.
This tragedy in Minneapolis felt here miles away in Detroit. That's where protesters gathered last night to show their support.
Let's check in with Fox 2's Robin Murdoch, who joins us live downtown with the very latest. Robin.
Good morning, Erica and Jay. Yeah, Detroit is more than 600 miles away from Minneapolis, but yeah, exactly. We are certainly feeling the effects of that tragedy that happened there, and that is why demonstrators here in Detroit, they did take to the streets yesterday right outside the field office here in Detroit, the ICE field office, because they want people to know that this is not acceptable. They actually described this as a abuse of power, what happened in Minnesota. Again, dozens of those demonstrators, they did gather right outside the ICE headquarters here on Michigan Avenue in Detroit. They started gathering right around 6 o'clock last night and marched several blocks. Now, the effort was organized by the Detroit Community Action Committee, and they said that they had to do something after seeing the video of the shooting of Renee Good, that woman in Minnesota killed yesterday by those ICE agents. Those demonstrators are calling for accountability and justice. Take a listen to one of the organizers.
We will continue to fight for better change, for accountability in our cities. I think this is something that should never be happening and is completely unacceptable. And I think it's up to our local governments to really take a hard stance against something like this and not allow ICE to just do whatever they want in our neighborhoods.
Now, yesterday's demonstration outside of the ICE field office here in Detroit, it was peaceful. Many of the participants, though, are actually hoping that Detroit will become a sanctuary city. We'll, of course, keep you posted. We are live here in Detroit this morning. I'm Robin Murdoch, Fox 2 News.
ICE-related shooting. This now, the first time that we're really hearing some more details from law enforcement.
Yeah, we know that the call was made maybe about 10 o'clock this morning, so just about 3 hours or so ago. In that press conference, we did get some more information about this woman who was, we know, at this point shot and killed by ICE agents. We have learned that she is a 37-year-old white woman. She appeared to be in the vehicle alone, is what the police chief said. But the spouse has made it to the hospital, but we probably should take you back just a little bit about just some of the chain of events that have happened now that we have some of that information confirmed.
And interestingly, we really still haven't learned what the initial call was, why ICE was there in the first place, who they may have been looking for. But we know that while ICE agents were there, according to Mayor Fry, there were about a dozen or so plus agents there. And that, you know, we've seen, there's some video out there. We're actually going to be showing it to you here shortly so you can see for yourself. But in the course of, of them looking for somebody, people started to gather, crowd started to gather, more law enforcement shows up. And I'm not exactly sure at what point the incident happened with the woman in the vehicle, but we know that there was a woman in the vehicle, and according to, again,
trip off this real fast. First of all, you know you in here with your boy Dealatofficial and my family. You know this is No Filters. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Become a member today. Hit that notification bell, turn it on. Turn it on all, so you don't miss all of the episodes coming Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. with your boy and my family. Let me tell you this real quick. You finna see a different type of energy with this type of rallies. And I'm gonna just be real with you. Why? This was a white woman shot, broad daylight, in front of everybody. The difference in that being a black woman shot like that, it would have depended on the community, period. And I'm telling you it's a difference because the level of headlines that this is getting right now is just the number one thing in the world, period, right? It's a different type of energy when it's black, and it's a different type of energy when it's white. And that's just the way of the world. We want it to be equal as it can be, but it's not. We wasn't raised the same. So things will never be equal. Can we learn how to coordinate and maintain together? Yes, we've done that. But things are not the same. We come from two different backgrounds, two different creed. Two different sanctions. It's a difference. When a black person get pulled over, you can see how they acting. White person get pulled over, you can see how they acting. 9 times out of 10, a lot of white people get a little frustrated, like, why you pull me over? You didn't have the law, the right to do it. Why you do it? Who you think you is? That's that energy. But you got black folk that'll get pulled over and be like, oh man, wait a minute. Hold on, why? Because we from different zones. We've been through different things. So we are definitely not receptive to the police as a white person would be, or a white person not acceptable or acting like a black person would be like, you crazy for talking crazy to the police. Why? Because we've been through something with the police. And the biggest thing that you need to understand is that this is more than what you see. See, like Chris said, and this is how you know, you need to hit that like button, double tap that screen, become a member, make sure you subscribe. When fam seen this, Chris said, oh no, fam, yeah, this is another distraction to whatever's really going on. See, when you know better, you're going to do better. And now you can see signs showing where things are headed. And now we seeing signs showing, hey, they want confusion. They want chaos. They want to have to hit the martial law button. They want to have to do this. But they just waiting for you to give them a reason to do it. Let me say that again. They just waiting on us to, they waiting on us to give them a reason to call that next phase. And because we not doing it as quick as they want it to be done, they done came up with their own ways on how to push the agenda through. Exactly that. So you need to understand, when you start to read and look at these lines, like, hold on, why would they do this to her like that broad day? And then on top of that, this is another reason why ICE, National Guard, whoever else cannot be patrolling the streets of a city. They are not built mentally to just patrol. They built mentally to enforce whatever they gotta do. They there to enforce that. So when I say they know what they're doing with this situation, it's already been put together. But the problem is, they didn't say, hey, we're going to wake up today and just unalive this white 37-year-old. No, I'm not saying that. But he know if he put a bunch of military-minded people in a police patrol residential area, they don't go together. That's like bringing war to your front door. That's what that is. Anytime National Guard, some ICE now, all of a sudden got to be patrolling your streets, and you pull out your driveway and people hopping in front of you like, where you going, what you doing? And again, she white, she not feeling obligated like, why, what do you need? No, she like, hey, get out my way, I'm grown, this is my street, I pay my bills, I take care of everybody. What is going on here? That's how people feel about that. That's how she felt like that coming out of her house, knowing she got to back up, and then them boys pulled up in trucks and hopped out and stood in front of the court like, hey, we finna control this person. And if they don't comply, we're going to use force in front of everybody. We're going to gun them down right there in front of everybody. They know what they're doing, man. I'm telling you. They know what they're doing. Don't ever get it twisted. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, I'm telling you. That's another shirt, Chris. They know what they're doing. You understand? They know what they're doing. They know what they doing. This ain't just happening for coincidental. They coming in your hood to provoke you. They coming in a neighborhood near you to provoke, to cause, to create chaos, cause chaos, and cause most of all problems.
A 37-year-old woman was shot and killed today in Minneapolis after ICE went into the city and started to do their thing. In retaliation, people started to protest and they started to obstruct. A lot of things happened. We're going to take a look at the clips, but the most controversial thing was someone was shot and killed by an ICE officer. Now, Trump and many other people are saying this is self-defense. This guy almost got run over, or well, he did get run over. Trump actually said, I don't know how he survived this. We're going to look at the clips. And a lot of people are saying there is no way in hell that this was justified. This was murder by an ICE agent. Before I show you the actual clip, I want you to read what Donald Trump said about this, because I think it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, this guy just exaggerates too much. This is coming from someone, by the way, I voted for Trump. Would I vote for him again knowing what happened now this year? That's another conversation we can have later. So I think it's very important to be critical of this administration, even if you voted for them. Let's read this. I've just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive. That's the craziest part to me, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis, which I do agree with that part. They're just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of the violence and hate. Agreed. So this is pretty much every angle on the internet right now of the incident. So let's take a look here. This angle in particular will be the one that you can see him actually getting hit by the car. It's, nothing crazy, but he does get hit by the car. This is the clip that Trump posted, by the way, in reply to his Truth Social post. So you can see it zooms past him. Then you'll see the other clips here. See, here you can see that the cop, it's very, very, it's not a very hard hit. You can see him, he's back here. Can't see much on that one.
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
Let's go see the slowed down version and break it down. All right, this is the easiest way to see what actually happened in my opinion. So you can see that the car is clearly trying to back up here, and he's trying to open the door. So at this point, like, get out the damn car. No matter who you are, even if you think you're in the right, she's clearly not, but even if you think you're in the right, get out the car, listen to law enforcement. You don't want to end up on a clip online, all right? Here's the ICE agent in front of the car, the one that shot her. Here he is. Now, she is now about to go into start driving forward. This officer is now pulling out his gun, right? And I think the first shot, in my opinion, is justified because he's right in front of the car. We can see in the first clip, we'll play it again, that he gets hit a little bit from the car. So, I mean, the car is a weapon at this point. So he is defending himself. So bang, he's about to fire the first shot as he's stepping away. There it goes. You can see that. Now he is out the way. That's it. He is.
Okay, hit that like button, double tap that screen, feel me right now, you're about to cook. So real talk, this is a woman driving this truck. If I'm an officer, any type of officer, I don't care what sanction, it don't matter the title. This is a woman. Now, she's bagging up, acting reckless because of all of us taking over her street and her whole world. So she coming out like, you just can't lock me up, or you can't just hop in the front car of me because I'm headed where I'm going. So off the rip right there, it's like, what? I'm not even thinking that if this woman try to hit me with her truck, I'm gonna go for my hammer and go straight for a headshot. No. I'm really gonna be saying, oh man, get out the way. She tripping, this lady tripping, this lady tripping. She trying to hit me, get out the way. Why I'm a man? I'm thinking this is a woman. I'm not feeling no threatened by anything she's doing, even with the car being in drive mode. I'm not threatened by that. And if it's that much of a threat, or even if I feel a slight bit of unreal, I can whip that and shoot her tires and shut it down right there. All of that could have been avoided. A life that still could be living. This is outrageous news right now, because they chose to handle this with force, aggression, no remorse, and rule of law that they're trying to create. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. When they do stuff like this, they're trying to send a clear-cut message that, hey, we in control, we do what we want. When they do things like this, they're sending a clear-cut message to let you know, hey, we do what we want. I mean, you almost gotta feel so sad for her and her family, man, because I'm like, just tired. I mean, like physically tired, mentally tired, emotionally tired, spiritually tired, financially tired, psychologically tired, guerrilla warfare tired. Like, it's so many tireds. And then the crazy part is a lot of people got their own opinion about this, because a lot of people's like, hey, if she would have just abided by the rules, she'll still be here. And then a lot of people feel like, well, no, because if she'd have came out your driveway and somebody cut you off talking about, hey, where you going, what you doing, and you like, no, I'm trying to pull off, that's different. But you still have the right to do that because you're not under arrest. So that's one thing of it, you're not under arrest. But another thing of it is the fact that She ain't been through what people been through. Where even if you do cooperate, you still get the pow pow. And that's the problem. Because anytime it's a situation like that where you cooperate and you still get the pow pow, like people that I know before, it don't matter. So it's like at the end of the day, you need to comply and be right there and naturally answer whatever questions need to be answered so you can go about your business. But she had a right to speak up. She had a right to pull off. They telling her to do something, and she like, hold on, I ain't just finna do it because you yelling it out with your gun. And then he walk up and try to open up your door. Come on, fam. They wrong. At some point, that's got to be wrong. ISIS shouldn't be able to get no type of, hey, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. I'm the president, and I give you all the right to do whatever you do as you see fit. That's what that sound like. That's what this look like. And that's exactly how things are turning out to be done. So again, we gotta be prepared. We gotta understand. We gotta get our eyes and ears on. Period. It don't matter what we talking about. We gotta get our eyes and ears on, because at the end of the day, the police gonna keep doing what they want to do, and who gonna stop them? Huh? You got an opinion about it? Drop it in the comments. I need to know what the level is and what you think and what you would do. Your opinion and your rule of judgment and your rule of law. What would you do? That's what we want to know. When it comes to this situation, what would you do? How do you handle it? Because at the end of the day, somebody just lost their life for nothing. And now we want to know we want to know the ICE police name. We want to know everything. Because this is where we at, fam. This is the situation. This is how it's being played now, and this is how they handling this stuff. And now we can't do nothing but. And then you got Donald Trump saying stuff like, "Hey, listen, she was wrong, so she had it coming." And then you got the other lady talking about, "Hey, he was trained, so she had it coming." At some point, we got to make it make sense. Make it make sense. As always, fam. You know what it is, fam. Only one way to do it, one way to do it, only one way to do it, one way to do it right with your boy. Right here, Monday, 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. Right here with your boy, Little T. And my fam here at No Filters. As always, fam, I truly appreciate you pulling up, understanding that we here to understand, inform, understand, and be aware. And if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, damn it, it's a duck and nothing else. You understand? I truly and always appreciate you all coming in with your family, man, making sure that y'all paying attention to what's going on. As the days grow, chaos is unleashing. As the days grow, people are out of control. And as the days grow, we must know how to read in between the lines from the headline, so we can know how to be able to reach out to our family and let them know this is what's happening and this is what you need to be doing to make sure you're on the safe side. As always, family, I truly appreciate you. You already know, making sure that when you come in, you get you something to eat, you get you something to drink, you get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title, fam. You in here with your boy Dilla T and my fam. And this is No Filters. Good night, family. Y'all have a great weekend. Be safe. Be aware. And make sure you're informed of what's going on. Lock your doors, make sure your family's straight. Grab your hammer and keep God on side. Good night, family. God bless.